podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him, actually, he was crying in there. You were saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on?
BoxingVoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time? Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and they're taking those punches.
Beyonce Production.
Making women gestures like,
Let's go, champ.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Boxing Voice Radio. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs, and we're going to be talking a little bit of Caleb Plant versus Vincent Feigenbutz. Vincent Feigenbutz. Yeah, I know. Probably don't get a lot of people tuning into this one, but Caleb Plant is definitely on the uptick. This is a mandatory challenger. The IBF Super Middleweight champion Caleb Sweethands Plant will defend his title in a homecoming bout against mandatory challenger Sauerland promoted Vincent Feigenbutz. Live on primetime or in primetime in the FOX PBC Fight Night main event on FOX Deportes. So, interesting that he gets to come back on Fox to do his mandatory. His fight with Jose Ustategui was on Fox Sports 1, and it did solid numbers. It boasts being the highest viewed telecast on that network, Fox Sports 1, for that year. And then after that, after lifting the title from Mr. Jose Ustategui, Caleb Plant then turned around and graduated to Fox, real Fox, and he faced Mike Lee. I think that was a voluntary. I mean, it should be, right? It should be a voluntary. I don't know how Mike Lee would be a mandatory, but maybe he was. Who knows? But that was, when was that? That was like in July. Yep, July 20th. He defeated Mike Lee. 3-round fight. He got the knockout, and he did good numbers then. He did like 80-something short of $1 million. And remember, that was the lead up to the Manny Pacquiao-Keith Thurman fight. So this was the free on TV, and he was the main event versus Mike Lee. Nothing to write home about. And Efe Ajagba was on the undercard versus the former Olympian he just faced. Not this last fight, but the second to last. And again, not a strong undercard. So Mike Lee definitely proven to be a star, bringing in close to $1 million both times around. It's peaking around 986, something like that. Let me just double check. But yeah, I mean, look, it's a mandatory fight that has to happen. It's going to be PBC on Fox. It's the second PBC card on Fox that has been announced for 2020, with Danny being the first one. It's going to be Caleb Plant's first time heading home to Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, where he'll defend his IBF Super Middleweight Championship. And look, I don't know much about Vincent. I've been receiving press releases from the Sullivan brothers for years on this guy. Goes back to what looks like here 2017. They started sending me stuff on him. He was added on the he was a reserve on the World Boxing Super Series, and he just been targeting people. He had wanted fights with Chris Eubank. His last fight with Nunez, he won the IBO title. So, man, I wish today Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. So probably get Ed on tomorrow. But it'd be interesting to know if the IBO is on the line, because I don't see it mentioned for the for the Caleb Plant fight. It just mentions his IBF. But, Caleb, I got some quotes from Caleb. And let me make sure. Okay, that's Tom Brown. Where is my man Caleb at? All right, here we go. So, and I quote, "I'm very excited to bring my world title home to Nashville in my second title defense. It'll be in front of all my family and friends, and I plan to put on a spectacular performance. Vincent Feigenbutz is very tough, rugged European fighter. He's got a big knockout ratio, but this is my backyard, and I will not let any man come in here and rain on my parade. On February 15th, I'm representing my hometown and my home city with pride. I believe this will be the first of many fights that we will hold at the Bridgestone in Nashville. This fight isn't going 12 rounds. Nashville, stand up." So, Feigenbutz is 24 years old, and he boasts a record of 31-2 with 28 KOs. So that is a lot of KOs. Some of his highlights, you can see he fought on Sky. And honestly, I'm skimming through. Let me go ahead and screen share this because, not really seeing anything, but I want to look at it together. So we'll see here. Norberto Nemaspetti, I think we heard of this guy. Sheesh. I see nothing. He got 2 fights with my man Giovanni. I don't know who the hell that is. Well. A lot of Germany fights. Well. We'll see, man. And he's got, 2 losses? He lost to Giovanni and early in his career. I mean, he's been on a tear. Let's see for how many here. Good. He's got a lot of fights. Just beat an undefeated Cesar Nunez. I mean, wow. I mean, I think this Nemaspetti dude, I might know. I'm telling you. This is Yep, see, Callum Smith fought him, so I had to have watched that fight. Darrell fought him, have to have watched that fight. I knew this dude. Wow. All right. Well, I guess in comparison, he stopped him at least. How many knockouts has he had? Last, knockout. Consider that a knockout. So since 2017, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 knockouts in a row. All Germany. He's coming from Germany to the United States for the first time. He's never fought in the States. UK. This looks like Italy and Germany. That's it. So this is a mandatory, man. It's not much here, but mandatories have to happen. This is the IBF. We know they play 0 games. But his nickname is the KO King for those 28 KOs. And, I mean, if you go off of his last, 5 fights or so, he's definitely on a knockout tear. He's got a high percentage, 84.5. I mean, 84.85, actually. But, again, I like no different. I like the opposition. I need to, like, if you're knocking dudes out, if you're beating dudes, it depends who you beating. Now, it looks like he was an interim WBA super middleweight titleist at one point. And then he was defeated in that rematch versus Giovanni De Los Carolis. But not much to say here, man. This is going to be a Keller Plant show. He should be showing out, and this is a showcase. But credit to PBC for noticing that he's like a little draw, man. Like, they started him on Fox Sports 1, and he got really close to 1 million with like 986,000 peak. And then they brought him to Fox with the Lee fight, and he did well, coming in over 900,000 as well. And then even and you can't forget that Lee fight. Again, it was a pay-per-view night, so that was like the free fight. That was like, go to Fox, watch this before you watch Pacquiao. So he brought in 1 million people without Pacquiao. That's pretty good, man. And he's got a good style. I think that these numbers will help us get that fight that we want with Benavidez. He's about to go now to Nashville and see what he does. And that'll be the second step. The ticket sales. See how big of a draw he is in his hometown. But Caleb has been doing what's been asked of him. He's beating who they put in front of him. These last two guys, this is definitely not what we wanted. But David Benavidez is also fighting, what's his name? Yeardom. He's fighting Giovanni Yeardom. So Caleb needs to fight someone, get the rust off. He only had 2 fights in 2019, and that was Uztategi and Mike Lee. And, his last fight was in July, so he's been out the ring for a long time, allowing some of that momentum to kind of die down. So handle this mandatory so that you can, line something up and go from there. But listen, again, it's a mandatory. Definitely not what we want. But he has no options in terms of like, he's not there for like step aside money and all that. Like, it's just not there yet. He just became champ 1 fight ago. So he defended his belt once. He's got to build. This is a building process now. This is like I think Earl fought Lamont after being champion. So but this is no Lamont either. Vincent Feigenbutz, I've only heard of him because I get his promoters press releases, Team Sullivan. But let's go out to the phone lines. We're going to go ahead and open up the lines. If you want to give me your opinion on Keller Plant, his mandatory, and the fact that it's going down Saturday, February 15th, 7 p.m. Central Time on Fox. Tickets on sale right now at Ticketmaster. You can find that link in the description as well. And, man, are you going to this one? If you're in the area, are you going to this one? Let me go out to our sponsors and get this thing started. I want to thank everybody that tunes in. If you're tuning in the future, the present, the past, it doesn't matter. It helps with the visibility of the show. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, share this show, and put it out there in the eyes of, other boxing fans that haven't found us yet.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes. These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Seattle, talk to us.
Mr. PBC, baby.
BoxingVoice.com.
I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believe he can win. Go to my kitchen, get the sharpest knife, and cut the bullshit up. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great.
Mr. PBC, baby.
Yo, what's good, Ness? Back at it again, SoloboloDolo on your Nolo. I guess Mike is still asleep from that LA Lakers game. That was a horrible game. But Caleb Plant, I'm watching him a lot. I like what I'm seeing. I just want to keep on seeing what I'm seeing, and he keeps on performing and selling himself. I like the fact that he's outspoken. He has a swag about him, and I like that PBC always knows how to make sure that tell all their fighters, if you really want money, you got to sell yourself. This is an entertainment business, and I really want to see him strive. I think he has a beautiful wife. She works as I think a commentator or someone who interviews fighters after the fight. And his opponent, I wouldn't take him lightly. It seems like this is the year of the hard names to say, or usually the hard ones to beat. You know, they're not going to be easy. And especially coming from Russia, they don't really just bow down to anybody. And I would love to see Caleb Plant come out with
This
KO.
guy's German.
On top of the KO King. Oh, German. Sorry, my bad. German, I want to see him come out with the KO on top of the KO King. And that's my call. Shout out to PBC and shout out to TDV.
All right. Well, Seattle, Dom, thanks for calling in. Mr. PBC, always on a check-in, always supporting. We're going out. Let me see. Don't forget the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation as well, anywhere in the world.
I don't believe no motherfucker beat me. I'm not supposed to. My nephew is an elite fighter, so he ain't gonna. He wanna fight the guy that's proven himself and a guy that people think he can't beat. And that's how you get paid. Right? All right.
Yo, shout out Tybo, Riddick Bo, Bo Mack, and Bo Jackson. It's Bo and Bama, man. I'm here in Nashville right now. This was my Patreon question to Caleb Plant when we had asked Caleb Plant a question. He said that he would hopefully be able to make it soon, and my Christmas gift is we're getting Caleb Plant. The announcement of a Caleb Plant fight at the Bridgestone Arena come true, you know. That's where Beyonce come. That's where Drake come. That's where the Predators play at. That's where all the biggest events in Nashville are taking place. It's a pretty big arena. I feel this is the perfect place for a guy like him, being a Caucasian American and whatnot. I feel like he's gonna do very well there. He actually from like Ashland City, Tennessee, so it's like a little country town outside of Nashville. I feel he's gonna do very well here next. Very well. Just a few billboards. I'm sure they'll give away some tickets as well. It'll be I ain't gonna say sold out event because it's a very large arena, but I feel he's gonna do very well on TV and in ticket sales also. I'm definitely gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? If you're coming down to Nashville for the fight, hit me up. Stainless, I know he in Nashville too. If he not going, I'm gonna make sure Stainless go. Actually, I can't get him a day off of work, but I mean, if he needs some help on the tickets or whatever, I'm gonna make sure he get a ticket as well. I'm gonna be there, man. I'm looking forward to it. What you think, Ness, overall about the fight being here?
I mean, happy for him, right? Like I've always said, you know, let these guys, if they won the tough fight, let them go back home. You know, let them get that hometown. They gave it to Earl. They gave it to the Charlos. You know, it's Plant's turn. It's Plant's turn.
The-
Listen, if you're a champ and you're winning, you're entitled to go back home.
The opponent, on the other hand, I never heard of the guy, man. It's a mandatory. He got a good record. He seemed like he might be a live dog, which I always like to see. I like to see somebody who comes to win rather than somebody like a Mike
little
Lee.
rough.
I don't want to see no Mike Lee, man.
He's a little no, he ain't Mike
Like
Lee.
a rough fighter?
He's gonna give it. He got way more dog than Mike Lee, but I think that he's less skilled. I think that he squares up. He goes for gusto, and you know, Plant is a counterpuncher, slick. So hit us up on Blog Talk. We're back, and everything should be good at this point. And you can also add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation. Yeah, man, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time, voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. And don't forget, add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. Let me go to Donald. Talk to me.
Yeah, I think I've always thought that Caleb Plant was a good boxer. You know, I remember when he was fighting Jose Takaki.
Yeah, it looks like we have